About is an internal URI scheme, also known as a URL scheme, or, erroneously, protocol, implemented in various web browsers to reveal internal state and built-in functions. It is an IANA officially registered scheme, and is standardized. In early versions of Netscape, any URI beginning about that wasn't recognized as a built-in command would simply result in the text after the colon being displayed. Similarly, in early versions of Internet Explorer, about, followed by a string of HTML, e.g., about, less than m greater than hello world less than m greater than, would render that string as though it were the source of the page, thus providing a similar, though more limited, facility to the data URI scheme defined by RFC 2397. Still other versions of Netscape would return various phrases in response to an unknown about URI, including, "What you talkin' bout, Willis?" Quote, a catchphrase from the TV show De Frown Strokes, or, "Homie don't play dat." Quote, from a recurring skit on the TV show In Living Color. The most commonly implemented about URIs are about blank, which displays a blank HTML document, and simply about, which may display information about the browser. Some browsers use URIs beginning with the name of the browser for similar purposes, and many about URIs will be translated into the appropriate URI if entered. Examples are Opera, or Chrome, Google Chrome. An exception is about blank, which is not translated. In more recent versions of Internet Explorer, many of the following do nothing or have since been removed. Standardization. In 2010 and onwards, there are efforts to standardize the about URI scheme and define the processing requirements for some specific URIs. In the IETF Applications Area Working Group, APPSAWG, in August 2012, it was published as an official request for comments as RFC 6694. Note that Opera Asha, the proponents, had long used and advocated alternative browser-specific URIs. The about URIs that are known to be defined for specific purposes are listed below. Common about URIs. Mozilla-specific about URIs. Many of these can also be used in Thunderbird by setting them as the mail start page. Also, some extensions define additional about URIs not listed here. Opera, Presto, specific about URIs. About is an alias for Opera. Therefore all these URIs also work with about prefixed. User JavaScript is disabled for all URIs in the About or Opera URI schemes as a security feature. These pages can, however, be styled using local style sheets. None of these functions, except the Opera About combination, work in the Nintendo DS version of the Opera browser. The Nintendo DS browser. Internet Explorer specific about URIs. Internet Explorer about URIs are configurable in Windows. It is therefore possible that some of the listed URIs will not work on a particular computer. For example, about Mozilla was removed in SP2, although the page can still be found at res. MS-HTML. DLL. About Moz. These about URIs are sometimes used for spyware and adware, most notably in Cool Web Search, which made about blank display advertisements. Note: any about URI that is not recognized by Internet Explorer redirects to a page saying navigation to the web page was cancelled. Edge-specific about URIs. Note: any about URI is accepted, but only returns a page with the message, well, that didn't work. Chromium-specific about URIs. Note: the above list is not exhaustive. For full list, see about URI. Note: about is usually with the exception of e.g. about blank, translated to a Chrome URL in Chromium and newer versions of Google Chrome. Conqueror. Note: any about URI except about blank and about plugins redirect to about Conqueror. Epiphany. Note: when Epiphany used Gecko as its layout engine, the general and Mozilla-specific about URIs worked as in Mozilla Firefox. Since WebKit became Epiphany's layout engine, only these URIs are supported. Netscape. Historical. The about URL originated in and has existed in all versions of Netscape browsers. It was originally added as an Easter egg to display information about the development team. Older versions of the Netscape browser have an about people URI that was similar to about credits above, but it would redirect to Netscape's active employee listing. In addition, about username, where username is the username of a Netscape employee, would redirect to the Netscape homepage of the employee specified. For example, about JWZ would redirect to http people netscape.com JWZ. Not an active link. Not all employee pages were accessible through this scheme. Only developers who knew which file in the source tree and the encoding scheme used to obfuscate the directory of employee about entries could add their names. Many other about Easter eggs existed, including the famous about Mozilla, and other less-known ones that showed pictures of the Netscape mascot Mozilla in various foreign garb, such as about Deutsch showing Mozilla in lederhosen. Some versions of Netscape would display the browser history for the about global URI. Internet Explorer for Mac OS 5. Historical. In Internet Explorer for Mac 5 was an offline Easter egg, accessible by typing about Tasman, showing the Asset1 test with the text replaced by the names of the developers. Safari. Only about blank is accepted. All other about URIs trigger default address bar behavior, e.g. a Google search. Microsoft's Outlook. In Microsoft's Outlook, an additional Outlook Today URI was added, which show the Outlook Today screen. It shows messages, tasks and appointments and is also accessible from IE. Also, although about blank is supported, anything else, including about typed after about, would show the text as a web page in the browser. Notes. RFC 6694. The About URI scheme. About protocol links in Mozilla and Mozilla Firefox. About redirect as source code in Firefox.